Well, y'all, this is my collection of sword bayonets. And what I consider a sword bayonet was anything with over a 12-inch blade. Of course, there's various opinions as to what constitutes a knife bayonet, what constitutes a sword bayonet. And the only blade I have here that is less than 12 inches, it's just slightly less than that. I have it here for comparison. I'll explain to you why in a moment. So at the top here, I have something called a yataghan pattern, which got very popular in the mid to late 19th century. And it's basically a saber bayonet. And this was made in Germany in the 1860s. And then the French made their version in the 1860s also. Considerably more expensive materials. And, brass handle and everything. And then below that is a Chasepot. And I'm probably mispronouncing that, but it's from the 1870s in outstanding condition. And it's even written on the blade. And just, bluing is still on the the scabbard. No frog, but hey. And the French spent a lot of money on their materials. And below that is getting to World War I. And actually, this would have been pre-World War I for the most part. And this was a label bayonet. And below it is a label bayonet with a considerably shorter, it's a cruciform blade, and it's horrendous wound. It makes horrendous wounds. But the bottom one is much more efficient because it doesn't break as easy, doesn't penetrate as far, and if you penetrate too much, you have a hard time getting it out of a human being. And you can also break the blade off. So now what do you got? So both of those are labels, and that one is slightly less than a 12-inch blade, but that's why I have it here. It's just about 11.5 inches. And then right here, I've got two Argentinian bayonets. And I don't remember off the top, this one is slightly older than the other one, but the Argentinians bought all of their weapons from the Germans, and to include Mausers, and they spent quite a bit of money on bayonets and short swords, and there's a whole history between the Argentinians and the Germans. It gets very deep and even controversial, but Weisburg Kirchbaum is on one of those, I believe both of them, and German firm, and exported to the Argentinians. So definitely sword bayonets, but didn't see a whole lot of use. No bone nicks, and maybe a few bone nicks, but no blade nicks for sure. So, and then over here you've got your Japanese Arisaka, and I've got one with and one without a scabbard, and they are actually different versions, and then one is a later war version, and you can tell the materials have started to deteriorate, and the quality of steel started to deteriorate. They were using whatever they could get. And then right at the top there you have a Gavar 98 Pioneer butcher knife bayonet, and this is a vicious, it has, I want to say 58, it's either 53 or 58 teeth that are razor sharp and will cut you. They are horrendous. This made horrendous wounds, and very much against Geneva Convention. By the way, this was the Germans' version of create wounds that are very hard to heal and sew up. And then the French, with this label, makes a very deep tearing wound that is very hard to heal. It's going to hit organs, penetrate organs, and it makes it very likely the person will die of infection because it's so hard to heal up. So not a nice, bayonets are very up close and personal. A lot of these weapons have seen heavy use, both in trenches during World War I, as tools, and then almost certainly in battles, World War I and World War II, Franco-Prussian War. Several of these are from the Franco-Prussian War. And then up here, I've got your Lee Enfield, fabulous bayonet, made millions of them, very well made. And then right here, I've got one for the Spanish military, and I'm pretty sure this is actually pre-World War II, and I am very, if anyone can identify that one, that is fine, but I'm pretty sure that's a little older than that. But, and the frog is in terrible shape. And then I've got a Chech Mauser bayonet right here. Fits my Chech Mauser perfectly. And then I'm going to, here's these are fabulous books that very, very useful for identifying things that I find at flea markets and occasionally even garage sales. And then I have a Chech Mauser right here, and I'm going to show you that this Chech Mauser actually will fit this Gavar 98. If you'll just give me a second, here's a Gavar 98, and it fits on this Chech Mauser no problem. So if you'll just bear with me for a moment, I'll show you that Gavar 98 Chech Mauser, no problem, click, and there you go. And that is in the hands of someone, that's a spear. You take this off and hang on just a second, y'all. That is a vicious, dangerous weapon. It is intimidating, and wow, the warfare was brutal, just plain old brutal. So there's your Gavar 98, and of course that Chech, the one bayonet made for that, fits it just perfectly fine. Almost a knife bayonet, but that sword bayonet, oh yeah, and actually very useful for a machete, field use, trench use. Great tool. And it was designed for that. It was starting to be a pioneer bayonet, and for engineers, and artillery. So there you go. There is my sword bayonet collection. And gosh, let me think anything else. Rainstorm is about to get here. The radar's got it coming right at me. And I've been doing this since I was 21 years old, and I bought a lot of these, fairly inexpensive, with just pocket change, money left over in college, and got a summer job, got a little money, and I go out and get one of these at flea markets, and now they have a little bit more values. I've actually looked up, and some people are like, man, where'd you get that? And I was like, 20 some odd years ago at a flea market. True story. So not the Chech Mauser. I actually bought that off of a coworker for I think I paid $150 for it, and a ton of ammo that I still have. So anyway, there you go. There is my sword bayonet collection, and later on here, probably not today, I don't know yet, I'll do my knife bayonet collection, and then later on I will do a whole bunch of other antiques, and to include antique knives and daggers, and I'll let you see some of the pocket knives. In garage sales, you find a lot of older pocket knives and older field knives at garage sales all the time. Just go out and do it. So anyway, there's my collection, and I'm gonna run to get this all inside before it gets rained on. So you guys have a fine day. I will talk to y'all later. Bye now.